Hey folks, welcome to the ATC podcast, hosted by Rick Kessler and Joe Mehl. Join us every week as we talk about camping and enjoying the great outdoors. The ATC podcast is a part of the At the Campsite network of podcasts and videos. This episode is proudly sponsored by Alliance RV and a production of atthecampsite.com.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of At the Campsite Show, sponsored by Alliance RV. I'm Rick Kessler, and with me, Joe Mehl from Alliance RV. And today we're going to turn the tables a little bit on Joe. We're going to interview Joe, and he's going to give us a rundown of all things that are happening over at Alliance RV. Joe, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I missed the last one because we had technical difficulties, right?
That's right.
I was on early, and then my computer just went, whoop. Nope, not doing it today, buddy.
Well, maybe if you upgrade from the Play School to maybe a Mac or something like that, it'd be good.
Oh, come on now. You know I'm a PC guy.
Well, Joe, Alliance RV, it's not a startup anymore, but it's still a relatively new RV manufacturer based in Elkhart, Indiana.
Yep.
Ryan and Coley Brady are the co-founders. They came over from Heartland RV. A company that their dad had started quite a few years ago before selling to Thor Industries. Give us a quick overview of Alliance RV, the campus, the personnel, everything, the credo, everything.
Yeah. Okay. So Alliance, we're 4 years old now, about right around that mark, getting to close to 4. Really started in 2020. So really 3.5 years old, started in 2019, and then they built their first unit in 2020, brought them to Tampa, and had a great Tampa show. Like you said, the Brady family's been in the industry for a very long time. Ryan and Coley, co-founders, brothers, really good brothers. They wanted to create a company that was set on doing the right thing and chasing relentless improvement and not just chasing the next cool thing. Let's actually create something for consumers, driven by consumers who actually go RVing. Because as we're working for Alliance and we're constantly building and tweaking, we're not always out there testing our product. But you know who is? The people that buy our product. So who better to listen to? So one of the main driven features on starting this company was something called customer driven features. So when they started Alliance, they got a Facebook group, 2,000 to 5,000 people, and it was every OEM besides them. And they listened, and they just took all that feedback and started building it into the product itself. Started with the Paradigm high-end luxury fifth wheel, then went into Valor, a toy hauler series, and then Avenue, our mid-pro series. And then as of last March or May, we launched the Delta Travel Trailer series. And then we got plans for more in the future here. So that's kind of a really good segue into what's Alliance's campus like. So when you drive down Benchmark, we have an HR building that has HR, accounting, human resources up there. Behind that is our maintenance metal fabrication shop. So we have a lot of in-house abilities to fabricate our own steel, which is a really cool feature. And then you have the headquarters building, which is attached to Plant 1, which is where we are currently running the Avenue product out of. Traditionally, it was the Valor product, but with the inception of Delta, we have to do a little bit of planning around that. Plant 2 is Paradigm, and then Plant 3 is now our Delta. And then we have a full house lamination facility, and it's huge. And they laminate all of our sidewalls and some of our floors for certain brands. So we have 5-6 buildings in total. And then we have a brand new Plant 4, which is really cool. You got to see it at Open House. That's where we had our Open House at. It's actually a double line building. So there's 2 lines in there. And we have plans to move Avenue over there. And then we'll have something special coming down the line for the other side of that building.
Well, Joe, you mentioned the brand names a few times now. How about give us a little more detail on each one?
Yep. So let's start with our Paradigm. That's our high-end Benchmark fifth wheel. And it's going to be a little bit higher price point. There's a little bit more floor plan offerings because we've had it around a little bit longer than the others. And starting there, one of the great things about that is that was the product we started with all that consumer feedback. So we have it really dialed into our consumer, the customers that are purchasing our product. And a lot of our features aren't driven just based off of, oh, that's cool. It's driven off of, oh, that's functional.
Yeah.
So, the frameless windows may look really cool, but are they necessarily functional when they only open 5-6 inches?
Yeah.
When you want a lot of ventilation in on nice, cool nights in the fall and the spring. So a lot of the features like that are direct dump ACs. There's a lot of stuff out there that'll say, oh, no, you want to have the racetrack system. Whereas not necessarily, because when you take the AC and you actually just put all the output right into the unit, it becomes more effective. And we did relentless testing on that, and we proved it. We do have to duct in certain situations, like to get to the bathroom or bunk rooms, but that's the only reason we would ever duct. And there's so much more. But our paradigm is our high-end fifth wheel. I would say we've had the longest time to perfect it, but it's still getting changed every day. And we may come out with a feature like in our Delta line that we're implementing in our paradigm line, the little 3-way switches on the outside of the trailer. Well, that's getting implemented into paradigm now, and we're bringing it into Valor and Avenue as well. So that's what's great. If there's a feature that comes out that just becomes truly functional and game changing for our consumers, we're going to implement it across the whole line. And that's the advantage you're going to get with Alliance is you're not just going to get at some of the other OEMs, they might have competing brands, same stickers, same build thing, or different stickers, same build style. Yeah. But one feature might not be included on the other one because it's exclusive to that brand. Whereas at Alliance, we can carry it across the board. Our Valor series, which is our toy hauler, we have fifth wheels and travel trailers in that series. And so they're going to be what I would consider luxury toy haulers, ranging from 10-foot garage to a 16-foot garage. Or 17-foot garage. And there's just tons of different combinations there, tons of reasons you want to use it. We have super solar packages. It's really for those that want to get off the grid or have some type of remote lifestyle. So if you want to full-time go off the grid, or if you just want to camp in the desert for a weekend for an event, we got you covered there. Our Avenue series, which would be considered, you might hear the term mid-profile, and that's typically represented with the roof slants. So it's also kind of a mid-price point piece as well. So it's a little bit more affordable for most people. And we have a great offering series there. What's really cool about the Avenue series is we decided this year to bring continuity to all of our brands. Okay. So if you step into a paradigm and that's your first time stepping in, and then you go all the way down to Delta, you're going to find continuity through the whole thing. Color schemes, layouts, flooring styles, build styles, because we wanted to bring as much as those high-end features across the board to our consumer. So if you buy a paradigm or you buy our lowest price point piece, you're still getting luxury.
And then the Delta, that's the newest one.
And the Delta is our travel trailer series. So that's a brand new segment for us. We have travel trailer fifth wheels, or toy haulers, travel trailer toy haulers. But now this is a standalone travel trailer. Great for couples, great for families, smaller vehicles was more one of the reasons why we did that. You can tow a lot of them with like an F-150. Really opens up the market there. So high-end luxury, aluminum construction, same build style as our paradigm actually, but as a travel trailer. Yeah. And we have 5 floor plans right now, and we're launching 2 more come Tampa.
All right. Couple things I wanted to touch on. You mentioned the consumer-driven features, and that it's not necessarily form as much as it is function. Yeah. One of the things that really caught my attention was, especially with the launch of the Paradigm, is you came out with the upgraded running gear as standard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can't tell you how, for anybody who's done some DIY repairs on their rigs over the years, that is a very nice feature to have.
Yeah. And that's such an overlooked feature, especially for first-time RVers, because they're not necessarily knowing what they're getting into, and rightfully so.
Right.
And our shackle kit, our thicker bolts, the wet bolt kit just being a little beefier, the leaf springs being a little beefier, makes a big difference when you're going down the road, and still being at an affordable price point is what really matters. Yep. Now, obviously, we are offering the independent suspension from Moride on Paradigm and our Valor line.
Yep.
So that is something that you can get if that's something you prefer. It does cost a little bit more money. But, you know, running gear is such an important thing. And I have a list of 500 customer-driven features that I look at, and I'm like, okay, how can I do some marketing around this?
And we go from something as extremely important as running gear to when you guys launched the Delta. One of the things that caught my eye, and this is such a little thing, but it makes such a big difference in how you use it, is the sink, the kitchen sink. The drain is offset. It's not in the center like everybody else's. It's offset. Yeah. And what that does is it moves the P-trap off to the side. So all of that space under the sink is now open.
Yep.
And what a great place to put that pull-out wastebasket. Something that every RVer has always struggled with is, where do you put my garbage?
I have camped in fifth wheels, travel trailers, motorized units, and tents. And every single time I camp, I'm like, where do I put my trash can? I have it bagged up. Sometimes I like tie it outside, or it's always in, and I have 2 dogs too. So when I camp, they want to get in the trash too. And so when I camped in a Delta for the first time and had that pull out trash can with my dogs, let me tell you what, it may not seem like a special feature, but man, did it make a difference in my camping experience.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a quick break and a message from our sponsor, Alliance RV. And then after that, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about Alliance RV. Sorry, I got a cough going on. I don't know what hell.
You're good. It's that time of year, brother.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Coming back in 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Rick Kessler with Joe Mehl. We're talking about Alliance RV, one of the hottest RV manufacturers going on right now. You do have some recent news to share, and that has to do with the dealers also appreciate our Alliance RV. What's going on, Joe?
Yeah, so we were voted the DSI Award, Dealer Satisfaction Index, and that's our 3rd year in a row. And it's really special because that shows that our dealer body really likes our product. Not just our consumers, but the dealers that actually sell the product to the consumer. And that's such an important piece of the bigger puzzle, because without a solid partnership there, your brand just isn't as powerful. And the DSI Award is a big deal. We put a lot of time and energy into our quality control, a ton of energy into it. And, you know, shout out to our service team. They do a fantastic job. And, you know, I'll shout out Curtis Carlson here and Bill Martin here. They do fantastic, you know, and the sales guys too at Alliance. You know, they're the ones on the field at the dealership's lot helping these people get into this product. And I can't tell you how many times I walk around this office and I hear sales guys on the phone with already, we call them allies, with allies helping them through something. And you don't see that kind of care after the sale for a lot of different industry, anything you build.
One thing I might point out is those Dealer Satisfaction Index awards, DSI awards. Dealers don't just base that on sales volume. Nope. I mean, yes, of course, that's a part of it because they want to be able to sell units and make a profit. Sure. But just as important, if not more important, it's the service behind the sale that you mentioned. It's the warranty support that you guys provide to the dealers. Yes. It's getting the parts to them, getting the technical knowledge immediately available. It's if you're looking, and I remember this from your ally rally earlier this summer, where people don't buy a brand, they buy the company behind the brand.
Yes.
And that's what the DSI really signifies.
Yeah. And all the winners of the DSI awards, you know, those are some very high quality, well represented brands. And to be among them, and some of them have been around for 20 plus years. It's an honor to be among them.
85.
Yeah. Right. So it's an honor to be among them, and we're going to keep chasing that relentless improvement. That's one of our mission statements, like I've said. And we're going to just get better and better and better every year.
So let's talk about, we've talked about Alliance RV as a company. We've talked about Alliance RV and the different travel trailers and fifth wheels. For those people who have yet to see one or get inside one, where can they go?
Yeah. So right now is the perfect time to really start looking and doing your research and figuring out what would fit your family's needs or your needs. So I definitely recommend going to alliancerv.com and just start digging through our floor plans. But then I highly recommend seeing it in person, walking through it, feeling it, seeing the quality yourself. So we have a tab on our website called alliancerv.com/events, or just click the little menu button and there's an events tab, and it has a list of all of our events. Obviously, there's a really huge show coming up, the Tampa RV Super Show. How many people attend that regularly? Like 50 to 80,000, somewhere in that range?
Depending on the weather, yes, you're talking about 70,000 or so.
Yeah. So it's a fun event. This year we have some really cool things going on. Some of our allies actually got together and reserved 30 campsites. And so we're going to have like a little micro rally there. Going to have a lot of fun. And there's so many other events than just Florida. But who doesn't want to go to Florida in January? I'm spending 2 weeks there.
It's the Florida RV Super Show in mid-January, and that's at the State Fairgrounds in Tampa.
Yep.
And it's not just Alliance RV, but all of the manufacturers. It's pretty massive. It's about 2,500 different units will be on display from all the manufacturers. Plus, it's a good time. They know how to put on a show there.
It's fun. Like, I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, yeah, let's go to an RV show for fun. But this year, my family's actually flying down the Saturday at the end of the show, towards the end of the show. And they're going to come walk around. And it's fun. It's a good time. There's also tons of other shows going around. I pulled up the website just to kind of hit on a couple of the big ones. We're in Texas, we're in Tennessee, Pittsburgh. There are Georgia shows, Iowa shows. In February, there's a great show in Utah, the Great Outdoor Show, and it's all indoors. There's a couple of units now. I think the show's gotten big enough where they put some product outside now.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years that I've been to that show, the weather has been phenomenal. It's like 70 in February. It's weird.
Will Alliance have a lot of your people at those shows?
Yes. So we always list our shows. I also recommend you go to our social accounts. It doesn't matter what platform you prefer. We post the upcoming week's shows. November and December are a little bit slow on show season just because that's more of a family-oriented time. People aren't making big commitments to big purchases then. But usually come January, it's time to think about what you're doing over the summer. And what better way to spend time with your family camping and seeing the great outdoors at the same time. I know it's a bucket list item of mine. I want to take a trip to like Mount Rushmore or Yellowstone or something. And but yeah, definitely go check us out. We post all the shows. One of the things that we're going to start doing on our website is we're going to put a little like blue logo next to the event if someone from Alliance will be at that event. So we try to staff as many of the shows as we can, but we obviously can't staff them all.
That's one thing I would recommend is if you are at a show and you do see a manufacturer's representative there, to talk to that person beyond the dealer salesperson, who may or may not be knowledgeable about that particular product, but nowhere nearly as knowledgeable as that OEM representative. And in Alliance's case, they're going to point out the running gear. They're going to point out all of those differences that makes Alliance a little bit better.
Yeah. Something else that's really cool about our shows is we have just the most supportive community out there. We have a couple of volunteers that coordinate volunteers at every single event, as long as people are within that area at that time frame. Right now we're sitting at like 62 volunteers for the Florida Super Show. It blows my mind. We had volunteers at Hershey. We have volunteers at the Texas shows. We have and they're customers that own our product, that love it so much that they're willing to come volunteer their time to talk to potential new customers that might become allies and might see them out on the road and have some fun and come to the Alliance rally in Northern Indiana.
And exchange little blue rubber duckies.
Explain little blue. Oh, we are going to be doing something really cool. I'll say it on this podcast just in case people see it. But we're going to introduce Allie the alligator.
Come on.
Yeah. So we're going to introduce Allie the alligator. We're going to drop her at Tampa. We got a lot of them in stock. So to be completely honest, we were having stock issues with the ducks.
Okay.
They're hard to get, apparently. We bought all of them. Or our allies bought all of them, which is fun. It's a fun game to play. But we got Allie the alligator, and you're going to go alligator hunting.
That's pretty cool. And it's those Jeep owners that are buying all the ducks.
Hey, that's okay. They're branded with Alliance, so...
Well, terrific, Joe. Can't thank you enough for shedding a little bit more light on Alliance RV. It's always good to catch up.
Yeah,
we will see you next week out in Las Vegas for a different trade event.
Yep.
And until then, everybody, we will see you at the campsite.
See you at the campsite.